Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of the tism, where the true crime is just as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases, and the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em.
And I'm Meg.
We are the Pandemonium.
Good morning.
Good morns.
Howdy. What's this, third time's the charm?
Third time's the charm.
Did you just hear that?
No.
Oh, Fluffy just went tearing through her feet, little like as she's like running.
Although her tiny little tip taps are totally fine and not like Emily trying to blow out my eardrums for the third time.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if you heard her running past as a little drive-by run.
Drive-by.
Drive-by.
It was a drive-by catching.
It really was, because she just like came out of the living room, cut the corner into the kitchen, and just went like full out straight into the dining room.
So I have to let everybody know we have the YouTube. I have it all set up. However, I found out that the songs that we've been using since our inception is copywritten, even though it was on a copyright-free site, even though it said that we were allowed to use it. So we have new intros, new outros, new trigger warnings, new everything. But we now have 12 followers.
Oh boy.
We love this.
On the YouTubes.
On the tubes of views.
She's tearing through the house again?
Yes, and just crying.
Oh my god. Fluffy is an unhinged bastard, but we love her. So we have 12 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So let's just huzzah for that. We have, let's see here. Let's look at the content. What do we got so far? So our last video, which is not of our faces, has 7 views, but the last one, Rachel, your lovely quiet Kansas town, that one has 9 views.
Oh.
Yeah.
We love a good view.
We love a good view. So we're at 93 on Spotify, and then we have a bunch more on the other channels.
Also, nothing about my hair.
Your hair is adorable.
It is.
Rude.
I love it. It's so curly.
It's so. I look like a moose. Make
A
all
very
the boy
cute
moose.
A very cute moose. Make all the boy moose go. We tried to do Raven's hair last night too, but it's just kind of
Poor thing.
because it's so short.
Oh. We're now at 83% female.
I missed a med.
Ew.
You missed a med. Okay.
It got
good.
it got stuck in the bottom of the shot
Oh
glass.
shit.
Oh. Whoopsies. I remember to take my meds this morning, so.
Yay! No, like middle of the recording. Oh shit!
Right.
I took my meds before too. So, and I blinded myself. Blinded by the light. We have 3 new countries, and I know it's because of Dr. Sister.
Well, I think she's
Nigeria, Cambodia, and Saudi Arabia.
Damn.
Yeah, that last one, I was like, really? Because our last country was Ireland, which was Meg, when she went on her little vacay.
Soon we shall have Korea.
Yes.
Dr. Sister's still in the air right now.
Okay.
So
How the hell
probably
do you
not
know
from her.
that?
I have her flight details.
Good for you.
She shared it, so.
Nah, you hack the system and you're like, I need to know where Dr. Sister is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I do that for Rachel, I have her location all the time.
I recently turned mine off.
I'm your
For
little
reasons.
sim. You're just like, where is she today?
Right.
Dog, I got a bit on Caesar's face, and like, now it's itchy.
I didn't know you were talking about a tattoo for a second there. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I was like, what?
what?
Is Caesar? I have a friend named Caesar. I don't think it's him.
I was like,
Yeah, no,
what are you
like,
talking about? And then I realized you were looking down at your arm, and I was like, oh, okay.
right on the spot where it's like tattooed that he's got a mark. You know, because if you know, you know.
Yeah.
It's just red now because I've been itching it because I got bit by something.
I'm sorry.
Eh.
Well, I was gonna bring my sewing in here so I could work on that. But it involves you seeing it and you can't see it until it's done right now. Sorry.
Because she's
I'm-
working on a stocking for me.
I'm gonna
Yes.
be working on my homework because I have to turn everything in by 11:59 tonight, and I have. I apologize in advance, Mr. Andrew. 76, 76 assignments that I need to turn
Emily!
Well,
in. In my defense, it's
there's
the.
no in my defense.
In my defense, it's the. Let me show you how to do it. Let me walk you through how to do it. Now do it yourself for 76 assignments. And it's the stupidest shit. Let me walk you through how to delete something on Word. Now do it yourself. Yay!
oh, she's flying Emirates.
Oh, I heard they're gorgeous.
Okay, I follow Jeannie Weenie on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Jeannie Weenie was a flight attendant.
Is she the one that does like the? Okay. She's the one I'm thinking of.
She's fabulous, and I ended up finding out that she was working with Emirates before, and they were like, these are things that you can't do, these are things that you can do. I'm really glad she didn't take the book, because if they see you reading that book before you land, they take said book and then they keep it.
Yes.
You didn't know about that?
I do now. It had to like shake the Etch a Sketch. I had to remember what book you were talking about. Oh, she's dying.
So I gave her access to my Kindle Unlimited, so that way she could finish the book on there. I told her to download the app on her phone so that way she could finish reading it and then save space for another book. She was very excited about that.
I'm sorry, I turned around and all I see is my daughter watching her tablet with my cat headphones on, sitting with a blanket like that.
So she's pulling a you.
Makes
As she
sense.
should. Do you guys want to hear our new intro? Even though I played it for everybody already.
I don't remember anything after 6 drinks and Stephen Ho, so let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay. Halfway through the episode, I don't care if you guys hear it again. Welcome to the Pandemonium Witches podcast, where the ADHD has just a touch of the tism, where the true crime is just as scary as the hauntings and unsolved cases, and the hosts never stay on topic for long. I'm Kat.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Em. And I'm Meg.
We are the Pandemonium.
What do you think?
I'm vibing with it.
Wonderful. Well, I know Rachel has a story for today. Do we require our new trigger warning?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a Pandemonium Witches podcast trigger warning. The following episode contains graphic violence and gruesome depictions. Listener discretion is advised. Tiny little violins!
It low-key sounds medieval. Like, I was waiting for, like...
But also
for
kind
the
of
dresses to come out.
a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We also have new happy music, and we still can use the elevator music, so we still have elevator music, but I'm excited with the new intro and the new outro.
Me too. So before we get started, apparently a group of disc golfers witnessed a baby hammerhead shark fall from the sky while in the middle of the game in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Are you saying dis or disc?
Disc. Like D-I-S-K or D-I-S-C. Sorry, can't spell.
I typed that in to see, and it's literally the first result on Google.
Honey? What the fuck is disc golfing?
Basically it's they take frisbees and they like shoot them into these kind of like baskets with chains to keep the
Like
frisbees
soccer?
in.
I appreciate the way that he took the photo holding this damn shark, because it's like every white guy on Tinder.
Oh man.
I'll send it in the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
Apparently so it was a group of 4 guys.
Mhm.
When they saw an osprey carrying its latest catch in its mouth, the group watched as 2 crows chased the osprey into some trees. When the osprey then dropped its breakfast, the group went to go investigate. They assumed it was a fish, but the closer they got, they realized it was something much more different. It's a baby hammerhead shark measuring about a foot long. The person that got interviewed was like, I've never even seen a hammerhead in real life, and now there's a baby one on the ground that literally fell out of the sky.
I do not want.
So they were so shocked to see this that they alerted the only other people that were nearby them, which were the players right behind them. There was nobody else on the course at the time.
Good for them. There's like an actual disc golf course.
Yes.
I bet you there's a whole league.
Oh yeah, no, like it's a whole thing.
I was joking.
It really is.
Fuck.
Before I got with boyfriend, I talked to a guy that was a disc golfer for fun and for like recreation and stuff, and I was just like, this is weird.
There is
not saying
here.
that it's weird. It's just it's not my cup of tea or whiskey.
There's a league here called the Colleen Harker Heights Disc Golf Group.
Yeah.
And they're very involved in building a new disc golf course in Rosewood. And there's an app called UDisc.
Yeah.
Not UDisc.
Who disc? UDisc.
No, I don't disc, UDisc.
So
also, this little shit scared me.
I figured that's why you jumped. So the course is adjacent to the Myrtle Beach State Park and is about half a mile from the ocean. So that makes more sense. I was thinking like middle of the state, all of a sudden the shark just gets dropped out of the sky. Okay, no. So it's unclear whether the shark was still alive when it was dropped from the sky, and so the group considered taking life-saving measures to return it to the water, but ultimately they decided against it due to the unlikelihood that the shark would survive the journey.
I'm sorry, what life-saving? Are you gonna give the shark CPR?
They probably doused it with water.
Are you gonna give it a cardiac thump? Hold in there, Will Smith!
So the guy says they often see wildlife during their time spent out on the course, but it's usually snakes, raccoons, and alligators, and owls. Never a shark.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
Hold in there, Lenny! If you guys don't get that joke, it's Shark Tales.
I've never seen Shark Tales. I finally watched all the Bad Boy movies, though. We're catching up, guys.
I am offended.
I was not allowed to watch certain things.
That's valid.
I was lucky I was able to watch Fraggle Rock and a few other things. And then when I moved out, my ex wouldn't let me watch anything animated, anything with puppets. Yeah.
What was he afraid of? You finding standards? Sorry.
He was ex-Mormon.
Ah, there it is.
So also this time 3 years ago I posted about, or 2 years ago, that possession is just DID light.
I remember that.
Yep. It's true.
Okay, anyways, so let's go ahead and get this shit
Let's-
show started.
Yeah, let's get on topic today, shall we? That's my
Okay,
bad.
so we're going to talk about Teresa Knorr.
Nor. Okay.
Knorr.
All right.
She is an American woman convicted of torturing and murdering 2 of her 6 children.
What?
Hold the fucking phone.
On the fucking phone here.
We're starting off big.
We're starting off disgusting with our Midwest just coming right the fuck out.
Oh, she was
So we need
convicted
a
of.
trigger warning, is what you're saying.
We already did the trigger warning.
But this one is for like child abuse.
Yes.
Child abuse. All right.
Torturing and murdering 2 of her 6 children while using the others to facilitate and cover up her crimes.
Is this oh God, they made a movie about it. Is this the one that I think it is, where before they were, oh God.
The 2010 horror film The Afflicted, also titled and Another American Crime, is loosely based on this case.
Yeah. Oh my God. I did. Oh, I remember this.
The murders were also profiled on A&E's series Cold Case Files, with an exclusive interview with her daughter Terry. The case was also profiled on series Most Wicked, Wicked Attraction, Evil Lives Here, and Deadly Women.
So, can I give a trigger warning without doing the children's warning?
Yes.
If you have any issue with torture, neglect, SA, bondage,
all the things,
that is typically in a dark romance book on a bad guy towards a good person.
Just go ahead and skip this episode, guys.
Skip this episode. We do not hate you for that, because I hate this case.
Continue. I hated researching it.
Continue. And I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. She was acquitted of murdering her first husband and was also considered a suspect in the unsolved murder of her sister, Rosemary Norris. She is currently serving 2 consecutive life sentences at the California Institution for Women in Chino, California.
I hope she rots in hell.
So yes, she is still alive, guys.
Mm-mm.
Well, excuse the fuck out of me. Did you hear the thunder?
No.
Oh, it just like did a really long, loud peal of thunder, and I was just like, well, excuse me.
Right.
Wait your turn, Zeus. Damn.
Right.
No.
I say that jokingly.
Right.
All jokes. Please, no swans.
No swans, please.
Oh my God.
So Teresa was born March 14th, 1946 in Sacramento, California, and she was the younger of 2 daughters born to S1E Gay and James Jim Cross.
S1E Gay.
Yes.
All right.
I don't ask questions. I just go with it. I don't ask questions about names, at least. I ask questions about a lot of other things.
Right. Seriously.
So Teresa has a brother and sister, or a half brother and half sister from their mom's previous marriage before James. And James worked as an assistant cheesemaker at a local dairy where he eventually saved up enough money to buy a house in Rio Linda.
Oh, okay.
In the late 1950s, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, which ended up making him quit his job because it's kind of hard to be a cheesemaker if you're shaking.
Right. Yeah, you gotta have steady hands.
Yeah. He developed depression and reportedly took his frustration and anger out on his family. So S1E then had to keep the family afloat financially. Teresa was reportedly very close to her mother and was devastated when S1E died of congestive heart failure on March 2nd, 1961. And being unable to keep the family home after S1E's death, James sold it.
All right.
I mean, because it makes sense. You can't make the bills, but you can't pay the bills, so... September 29th, 1962, 16-year-old Teresa married 21-year-old Clifford Clyde Sanders, who she had met a few months prior.
Oh. Take it from me. It ain't worth it.
Mm-mm.
She immediately dropped out of high school, became pregnant, and on July 16th, 1963, gave birth to their first child, Howard Clyde Sanders. Their
Clyde.
marriage, yeah.
Right.
Well, I can't say much. I have a cousin, Clyde, so.
Okay.
Their marriage was rocky, and Teresa was possessive and repeatedly accused Clifford of infidelity. So because of this, they argued frequently. And on June 22nd, 1964, Teresa claimed Clifford had punched her in the face during one of their arguments.
Whoa. All right.
She reported the incident to the police, but refused to press charges against him. And so, because she wasn't pressing charges, the case was dropped.
Right.
On July 6, 1964, so literally not even a month later, it was probably like maybe 3 weeks later, the day after Clifford's birthday, the couple was arguing again because he had spent his birthday out with friends instead of at home with Teresa. And at this point, I can't really blame him.
I mean, yeah, because she crazy. I mean, we're all crazy, but that's
crazy.
Crazy.
Like, he just wanted to have a good birthday, and she's a little psycho. So during this argument, Clifford told Teresa that he was leaving her. Teresa then became enraged and proceeded to shoot him in the back with a rifle as he was walking out the door.
Oh, no.
She gave him a warning shot.
She gave him the only shot because it killed him.
You ran into my knife. You ran into my knife.
I fired a warning shot into his head. Only it's into his back.
Right.
So Teresa was arrested and charged with his mortar. Where she pleaded not guilty, claiming she was acting self-defense. How the hell is this self-defense if you shoot somebody in the back?
That does not hold up. That doesn't hold up in court.
If it was a front shot, completely plausible because he's coming at you.
Right.
He can't come at you front and backwards. I mean, he could, but it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
So during the trial, Teresa was pregnant with her and Clifford's second child.
Those damn pregnancy hormones.
Did she try to claim insanity?
She claimed she had shot him because he was a violent alcoholic who had physically abused her.
Okay.
Several of his relatives testified that he was neither violent
nor an alcoholic
or abusive or an alcoholic. Prosecution claimed Teresa killed Clifford maliciously and without provocation. His sister, Linda Hansen, testified that Teresa was possessive and jealous and would kill Clifford before any other woman could have him. Teresa was still acquitted of his murder on September 22nd, 1964.
Because of course she was.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa then gave birth to their second child, Sheila Gay Sanders, on March 16th, 1965. So
she gave birth. She got acquitted.
Hold on.
You lost your pace?
She was just barely pregnant when she shot him. Sorry, I just did the math.
Okay, so
how pergonant is pergonant?
It was not okay. So by the way,
she shot and killed him July 6th. Gave birth to the child March 16th.
Okay, I have to say this because it got so much on my nerves when I was growing up with my brother. Your hormones, God, why are women so hormonal? Ladies and gents, ladies and ladies and gadies, the reason women are hormonal during our pregnancy and during periods is because of the high levels of testosterone in our system.
It's true.
So if you're thinking we're hormonal, maybe you should take a look in the mirror.
Ba-ba.
So all the men excuse me, who are saying that they're not emotional and not hormonal and not manipulative, maybe get your testosterone checked. It's probably not enough.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why he can't grow a beard. Anyways, I'm keeping that in. I don't give a fuck. That man has little to no facial hair. I'm just saying.
Snaps.
I mean,
he thinks he's a man.
Anyways,
I have no problem talking shit. Okay.
Anyways,
no one else can hear it. It's fine.
Teresa was
within
like 1 month being pregnant when she shot her husband.
Yeah, she couldn't have been able to do the my hormones made me do it thing. So
the thing don't even have it's still a clump of cells.
Yep.
I mean, granted, like there is some hormone fluctuation, but
oh yeah,
you can't be like third trimester, the pregnancy made me go crazy kind of thing. Anyways, so after Teresa gave birth to Sheila, she began drinking heavily. She regularly went down and drank at the local American Legion Hall, where she met Estill Thornsberry, who was a disabled U.S. Army veteran.
Okay.
The two began a relationship and eventually moved in together. Well, during the stint of their relationship, Teresa was routinely leaving her son and daughter with him while she went out drinking.
Oh.
Not a let's get a babysitter and go drinking together. No. Watch my kids. I'm going to go out and get drunk.
Oh, no.
So he began to question Teresa when she stayed out for days at a time and proceeded to end the relationship a few months later after discovering that she was having an affair with his best friend.
Ma'am.
Shortly after this, Teresa then met and began a relationship with a Marine Corps private named Robert Knorr.
It's always the Marines.
Hey, listen, after watching Bad Boys 4 last night, I have to say, I watched that one scene 3 times. It's not always the Marines. It's not always the Marines.
It's not always the Marines.
You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they're a little stupid, but they get the job done.
It's like
only sometimes
90 to 10% average ratio.
Yes. There's something scary about them.
Having dated a guy that went while dating went through Marine boot camp.
Hmm.
Yeah, like they literally tear you down mentally and then rebuild you.
And then
It's
rebuild you from scratch. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty fucked up because the guy I was dating was not the same guy at the end.
No.
No, it never is. Like every boot camp, they knock you
Right,
down.
but this was worse than
Marine, as somebody who's dated all factions of the military, because I
same.
am not a badge bunny.
I just happen to
You?
live in a military town.
You're not a badge bunny. You're not even a
me-
buckle bunny. You're a barracks bunny.
For me, it's more of a I just lived in a military town, so I didn't have a choice. The
I
ones
lived
that
in a
had good
military town,
that
too.
were going places with their lives just happened to be the
Yep.
military.
Yep. I am not a barracks bunny. Most of the guys that I dated were because they were friends of friends. Like
Same.
it wasn't, oh God, it was terrible. But like the Marine guy that I dated, he was perfectly fine going into
Mhm.
boot camp. And then when he came
Completely
out,
different.
and it was the same as my ex who had gone overseas and came back. It was just like night and day
Right.
difference. Like there was nothing behind his eyes. And I get it. You know, he was good at his job. He did what he did, but we digressed. We're on to something different. Let's keep on task.
Yes. So she met Robert.
Yeah.
She soon became pregnant, and then they got married July 9th, 1966.
What is it with her continuing to get pregnant like every time? Can she not keep her legs closed?
Or
They didn't have aspirin back then to hold between the knees.
I mean, birth control was still a relatively new thing. I understand, but you know, it was still a it was
still a thing.
So her third child, Susan Marlene Knorr, was born September 27th, 1966. 3 more children then followed Susan.
Okay.
William Robert on September 15th, 1967. Robert Wallace Knorr Jr. on December 31st, 1968. And then Teresa Terry Marie Knorr on August 5th, 1970.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't mean to interrupt again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't she like a super church going lady? And she was always like preaching about it, that she was like such a good Christian.
Not that I could find.
Okay. Never mind.
I mean, it's usually what happens, but
Right. Yeah.
so while they're having children, their marriage deteriorates because she's accusing him of having affairs. Well,
Of
it's
course.
probably the pot calling the kettle black.
Right.
Both were known to be volatile and would constantly beat each other and the kids.
Volatile?
Yes,
Okay.
that word.
Yeah. Words are hard, okay?
Especially after being up all night. Yeah, words are hard.
Yes. Words are very hard.
So, fed up with Teresa's constant accusations, Robert left in December of 1970, and he was granted a divorce in 1971.
Good for him. Good for him.
After the divorce, he made attempts to see his children,
Uh-oh.
but Teresa prevented him from doing so.
Of course.
Teresa proceeded to marry twice more after Robert.
Of course.
In 1971, she married railroad worker Ronald Pullman, but the marriage fell apart when she began to leave the kids with him while she went out all night drinking and partying. He divorced her in 72 after becoming convinced she was having an affair.
Because she probably was.
Like she's been doing this whole time.
Right. I
So
mean,
her track record was not good. I mean, she was consistent, but still not good.
Right.
So her final marriage was to Sacramento Union copy editor Chester Harris in August of 1976.
Okay.
Susan, who was a 10-year-old child at this time, grew close to Chester, and it made Teresa jealous.
She's 10. That is a
She-
child.
Right? Teresa filed for divorce from Chester in November of 1976 after she reportedly found out that Chester enjoyed taking consensual nude photos of women.
Wow. Not where I saw that going. Okay.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
but also it was consensual, so I mean,
Right. There's not really,
and it was the late 70s, so like things were a little different then. But
I mean, yeah,
and they were adults. They were all adults.
they were all adults. We can't say anything about it because they were all consenting adults.
Exactly. But she took it and she ran with it.
Right.
So after her fourth divorce,
Mm-hmm.
the abusive behavior towards the children escalated. She was now physically, verbally, and psychologically abusive.
Okay.
She gained a tremendous amount of weight and became reclusive to the point of disconnecting the home phone and refusing allowing the children to have visitors.
I remember that.
So during this time, they lived in Orangevale, California for many years before moving into a 2-bedroom apartment in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
She had what, 6 kids?
Yeah. You figure it out. Like,
That's 7 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
mm-hmm.
That's not enough space.
It's not. I mean, but you also have to remember she wasn't working either. So she was probably getting child support from these other baby daddies, but she wasn't probably working.
Well, one of them was dead, so she couldn't get any child support from him.
True, very true.
And then the only other one was Robert. So,
and I'm not allowing what she did. I don't think it's pass what she did,
right.
Pass? That's not the word. What's the word? I don't know the word.
Anyways,
continue.
So her eldest son, Howard, reportedly left home before the move to Sacramento. Okay, so
He's gone. 6.
There's still 6. According to neighbors, the Sacramento apartment was filthy and smelled of urine. Neighbors also noticed that the children, who Teresa never allowed to go outside, seemed fearful, nervous, and high-strung. Yeah, because they're stuck inside.
Right.
So for years, she abused and tortured her children in various ways, including beating them, force feeding them, burning them with cigarettes, and throwing knives at them.
Nope.
One of the children was hit by a knife, and she cleaned the wound and stopped the bleeding. She made her children hold each other down while she assaulted them with a special beating paddle. And in one instance, Teresa held a pistol to her youngest daughter's, Terry's, head and threatened to kill her. Teresa.
I'm sorry.
What a moment to walk back in on.
Yeah.
The air conditioner kept kicking on and I couldn't feel my toes. Yes.
Teresa primarily focused her anger and abuse on Sheila and Susan. Terry said in an interview that her mother resented that Sheila and Susan were maturing and blossoming into attractive young women while she faced the prospect of losing her looks as she aged.
Children!
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Teresa also believed that her 4th husband, Chester, had turned Susan into a witch. So Not how
That's not how witches are made.
It
So
would be great if it was.
Right. So Susan received the worst of the abuse. After one severe beating, Susan ran away from home, which I don't blame her.
Not at all.
She was picked up by the police and placed in a psychiatric hospital where she told staff that her mother abused her.
Mm-hmm.
Teresa denied the abuse claims and told the hospital staff that Susan had mental issues. Authorities interviewed the other children, but out of fear, they denied any abuse. And unfortunately, Susan was released back into her mother's custody,
Oh, God.
where she was immediately punished by being beaten while her mother was wearing a pair of leather gloves and forced Susan's siblings to take turns in the assault. In the following weeks, Teresa handcuffed Susan to the kitchen table and ordered her other children to stand watch over her. She remained handcuffed under the table for 2 years, intermittently being allowed to get up due to pressure sores and being force fed. If she threw up, she was made to eat it. She was forced to eat it.
So we talked about this on previous episodes. Safe havens. Even back then, there were safe havens at hospitals and at police stations and churches.
Churches are still safe havens.
So, like, she could have literally dropped these kids off.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was married, she could have been like, I can't take care of these kids.
Or I don't want them. Take them.
Mm-mm.
Previously, she had forced Susan to drop out of school and then forbade her to leave the house. She then pulled her other children out of school, removed their access to phones, and even not allowing them outdoors. Most of them never advanced past the 8th grade.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have any access to education.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
So I broke this down into the 3 daughters, Susan,
Okay.
Sheila, and Terry.
All right.
So for Susan, for the 2 years that she was handcuffed under the dining room table, Teresa would hand feed her from time to time, but she had to have a mouth gag on. Eventually, Susan could not handle the torture anymore and begged her mother to release her. The next morning, on July 16th, 1984, Teresa went on a rampage and started hitting all of the children. She uncuffed Susan for a minute, but handed Terry a gun to point at her and shoot her if she moved. While Teresa and the other children were in the kitchen preparing oatmeal, one of them dropped a spoon. The noise frightened Terry, causing her to accidentally pull the trigger and shoot Susan. Teresa immediately rechained her under the dining room table, and her only response to the fact that her daughter was profusely bleeding, begging to be taken to the hospital, was to get upset that the blood had stained the carpet. Teresa decided to nurse Susan back to health, making her stay in the bathtub for several weeks. Susan survived and continually begged her mother to let her leave. Teresa demanded to remove the bullet before letting Susan go. She managed to gouge the bullet out while Susan was unconscious, which then led to infection and sepsis. That same day, Teresa packed all of Susan's belongings into trash bags, and after binding her arms and legs and placing duct tape over her mouth, ordered Robert and William to put Susan into the car. They then drove her to Squaw Valley, where Robert and William placed her on the side of the road on top of the bags containing her belongings. Teresa ordered Robert to douse the bags and Susan in gasoline and set them on fire. Robert thought she was already dead, but Susan was still alive. Susan's still smoldering body was found the next day. Due to the state of her remains, a positive identification was never made, and Susan was classified as homicide case Jane Doe number 4873/84. She was only 17 at the time of her death.
Some people don't deserve children, and other people deserve to rot in hell.
And sometimes they're the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be okay, Kat?
No, but keep going.
Okay.
The reason Rachel's asking, even though my mother will deny this, I am not upset at what they did because that's what they were taught. Rachel, Emily, and I have discussed this in length. They're not bad parents. My parents are really good parents, except
they just didn't sometimes do good things.
Like, my grandfather came after me with a belt. I loved my grandfather, but if he was running with that belt buckle, and it was one of those big, Emily remembers the big belt buckle, because I had a scar up until I started using that stuff that Cece gave me on my left hip. And it was like this big. And my mom's like, we never did any of that. And I'm like, you sure?
My scars say otherwise.
My mom's the same way.
And it's one of those things where it's like, we had good parents, but they were raised inappropriately.
Right.
So that's why she's asking me if I'm okay. Because it's like, I'm still going through the steps. Even though I graduated from therapy, I'm still going through the steps of healing from that trauma. I'm okay. I'm fine. Because in my mind, it's not me. I know that.
It still affects you, though.
It still affects me because it's like, how could someone be that unkind?
Our parents raised us in the way that they thought was right because they raised us differently than their parents raised them. So they thought it was right.
Yeah. Their parents raised them worse.
And it, like, even to this day, my mom's like, I never did that. And I'm like, are you fucking sure, Lou?
Right.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's not anything that,
like, I see my own son get disciplined by my mom or by my brother, and I still, like, freeze up. And she's like, oh, stop overreacting. I'm like, it's not an overreaction if it's a trigger.
Right. So, of course, I'm going to put a trigger warning at the beginning before we do our new trigger warning kind of thing. And I'm going to keep all this in, but yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
We love you. And
Love
just
you
know,
too.
everyone else, you are loved.
Yes.
You are more than your trauma.
Yes.
So moving on to Sheila.
Okay.
Following Susan's death, Teresa began directing majority of her anger and abuse towards her 20-year-old daughter, Sheila, forcing her into prostitution in May of 1985 to support the family.
Whoa. I don't remember reading about that. Okay.
I guess
Teresa.
The one time she unmutes herself.
I know, right?
I guess the only silver lining is that she was of age. There's someone at the door.
Go. Mute.
Just pause.
Okay. I just muted her, but
Okay.
I'll pause it. Did we forget that you ordered Starbucks? Was he a dick and put it in front of the glass door? I hate it. No, you're unmuted.
No, she doesn't have her ears on.
Oh.
What?
Like she doesn't have her ears on.
Oh, I wasn't even muted.
Nope.
No, I was like, mute, but we paused it. You forgot that you ordered Starbucks?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's okay. Oopsies.
Let's see what all we got. Oh, it's not even that I didn't mute. It's I pressed a button and it took my spacebar off the mute button.
Interesting. Okay.
Usually I can do this. Ah,
Okay. Now she's unmuted. And now she's muted.
Yeah.
All right. Continuing on with the trauma.
The spicy trauma.
So Sheila was forced into prostitution to support the family.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say Teresa or Sheila?
I think
Teresa.
Oh,
I heard
my
Sheila.
bad.
It's
Sheila was
isn't
forced
it?
into prostitution to support the
I was
family.
gonna say it's a little hard to do
Well,
that from the
especially because
grave.
on my notes, it's both words are like right on, like Sheila is right on
Oh,
top of Teresa.
okay.
So I was like, wait a
Okay,
second.
okay.
So Teresa did not work and was receiving unemployment benefits from the state of California. Teresa was so pleased with this arrangement because of the large amounts of money that Sheila was earning that she allowed Sheila to leave the house whenever she pleased, because she was pulling in a good amount of money with the prostitution.
Right, right. And I mean we don't shame work,
No,
but when it's forced upon you,
that's different.
that's different. If you choose sex work, that is well done. Good for you. I'm glad you have the coordination to be able to do that. I do not. I look like a hippopotamus trying to shake your thing.
Yes, same.
Mm. Mm.
But after a few weeks, Teresa became angry and accused Sheila of being pregnant and had contracted a STD that Teresa claimed to have caught from Sheila via the toilet.
You know that's not how that's
That's not how
done,
any of that
right?
works.
That's not how that works.
That's how any of this works.
So when Sheila, of course, denied the accusations, Teresa beat her, hogtied her, and locked her into a tiny closet with no ventilation.
Oh no. Oh
Teresa
no.
forbade the other kids to give her food or water or even open the door. But Terry disobeyed her mother and gave Sheila a beer. I mean, at least she gave her something.
Right.
Terry later said that mom wanted Sheila to confess. That was mother's way. Beat them until they confess.
Mm-hmm.
To end the punishment, Sheila confessed to being pregnant, but Teresa claimed that she was lying and refused to let her out of the closet. Sheila died 3 days later on June 21st, 1985, of dehydration and starvation. Teresa left Sheila's body in the closet for 3 more days before discovering that she was dead. Once again, William and Robert were ordered to dispose of their sister's body, which at this point had begun to decompose and fill the apartment with a stench. Because, that's what decomposing bodies do in summer.
I just want to know if William and Robert got therapy.
I want to say yes.
Just wait. Just wait.
I mean, this is, mid 80s, so I mean, therapy wasn't really a thing, especially not for men. The boys placed Sheila's body into a cardboard box, which they then disposed of near the Truckee Tahoe Airport.
Okay. I'm glad they put her in a more populated area than they put the previous daughter, Teresa, but
Susan.
Susan, you know who I'm talking about.
Yes. I wish they had done it to their mother, because then, their other sister would have been alive.
Right.
Sheila's body was discovered a few hours after it had been disposed of, but was never positively identified. It was classified as Jane Doe number 6607-85. Although Sheila's body had been removed from the closet, the smell of the decomposition still lingered in the apartment, and Teresa became concerned that the smell and physical evidence in the closet could implicate her in Sheila's death. No fucking
Of
shit.
course.
On September 29th, 1986, she moved the family's belongings out of the apartment and ordered Terry to burn it down to eliminate any physical evidence. During the night, Terry dumped 3 containers of lighter fluid on the apartment floor and set it on fire, but the fire did little damage as neighbors quickly reported it before it spread. The closet that Sheila died in was not damaged. After Teresa's arrest, investigators were able to remove the subfloor from the closet to test it for physical evidence. After leaving the apartment, Teresa went into hiding. Her sons, Howard and William, who were of legal age by then, had severed all ties with her. 16-year-old Terry also escaped from her mother and used Sheila's ID card to pass herself off as a legal adult, because at that point, any means necessary.
Right. You got to go. You got to go. Good on her. Good on her.
The only child to remain with Teresa was 19-year-old Robert Jr., and he moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, and attempted to keep a low profile. In November of 1991, Robert Jr. was arrested after he fatally shot a bartender in a Vegas bar during an attempted robbery. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison. Shortly after his arrest, Teresa left Vegas and relocated to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Howard and William either drowned it with alcohol and drugs or actually got help.
Right.
Now on to Terry. After escaping her mother, Terry attempted to report her sister's murders to the Utah police, but they dismissed her stories as fiction, as did a therapist she visited.
Mm-hmm.
On October 28th, 1993, Terry phoned the hotline for a Fox TV program, America's Most Wanted, and was told to contact detectives in Placer County, California, where Susan's body had been found. Placer County detectives took her claims seriously because they had the body. So
Right.
at that point, it's anything to close Jane Doe case. So detectives took her claim seriously and followed up with an investigation, which soon linked the 2 Jane Does that were found in the area in 84 and 85 to Terry's detailed stories of her sister's deaths. Her brother William was arrested on November 4th, 1993 in Woodland, California, where he had been living and working. Robert Jr. was charged with the sisters' murders while he was serving his 16-year sentence in
Do you want me to pronounce it?
It's literally Ely.
Ellie?
Yeah, but I always mispronounce it for some reason because I look at it and my brain's like, Eli? Ellie, Nevada prison.
Yeah. Ellie.
Yeah. William and Robert's stories.
Pandemonium Witches is currently having a technical issue. Please hold on a moment with us while we handle the feral possums that live within our brains. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled bullshit in just a second.
Williams and Robert's stories obviously fell very closely similar. On November 10th, 1993, Teresa herself was arrested at her home in Salt Lake City. At the time of her arrest, she was using her maiden name of Cross and working as a caregiver for her landlord's 86-year-old mother.
Wait a minute. No.
Yes.
No. I don't
like that either.
Nope.
On November 15th, 1993, Teresa was charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, and 2 special circumstances charges, multiple murder and murder by torture. She initially pleaded not guilty, but then made a deal with the prosecution after learning that her son, Robert Jr., had agreed to testify against her in exchange for a reduced sentence.
Good.
She then pled guilty on the condition that she would be spared the death penalty.
Ma'am.
So on October 17th, 1995, she was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. She is, like I said, she's still currently incarcerated in California Institution for Women in Chino, California. She had a parole hearing in July of 2019, but was denied release.
Good.
Her next parole hearing will be in July of 2025.
No.
So I will do a little update on that for you guys when it happens.
Please do.
Which it will probably be denied again. I'm
Probably.
hoping. So William was sentenced to probation and was ordered to undergo therapy for participating in his sister Susan's murder. In exchange for his testimony, the prosecution dropped all charges against Robert Jr., except for 1 count of being an accessory after the fact in relation to Sheila's murder.
Okay.
Robert Jr. pleaded guilty to the charge and was sentenced to 3 years in prison, which was served concurrently with his 16-year sentence in Nevada. In 2016, he was sentenced to 8 years in prison for possession of child pornography.
Wow. Okay. Not where I saw that going.
Right. After running away from her home, Terry married twice and eventually moved to Sandy, Utah, where she lived with her second husband. She worked as a grocery store cashier in the same neighborhood where her mother had also lived and worked before her arrest. Teresa and Terry apparently did not know that they lived in close proximity and had no contact. Terry died at 41 in 2011. She died at 41.
I'm glad that she got away and that she got to know some peace.
Following Teresa's arrest, police decided to reopen the murder case of her older sister, Rosemary Norris, who was found strangled to death at the end of a dead-end road in Placer County in 1983 after she went grocery shopping in Sacramento. Police later determined that Teresa was not involved in her sister's death, and her murder remains unsolved.
I think it was her.
Oh, 100%. I just think that there was just no evidence that was salvageable.
Right.
But I 100% believe it was her because that's too suspicious. But yeah, so that was Teresa Knorr. A horrible mother.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The girl, didn't she have a girl come stay with her that they paid like a couple of dollars a day? Wasn't this the case?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, I remember this case. Hold on.
I mean, The Afflicted was loosely based on the case. That film follows the real-life events through a substantially compressed timeline. Unlike the real case, the movie ends with the youngest daughter killing her mother and one of her brothers before committing suicide.
I confused the two cases. They both are similar, in nature. The one I was thinking of was known as An American Crime, about Gertrude Benzweski.
The 2010 horror film The Afflicted was also titled Another American Crime. So
Okay.
Another
All
one.
right. I mean, another one.
because we don't have enough. But yeah.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. I do remember this one. I watched it before I watched the other one. So that's probably why I got
the details a little flip-floppy.
Yeah. Yeah, but still. That is disgusting. I hated that. I mean,
one of America's worst mothers.
One of America. Listen, we already discussed America's most popular party mom. That was also notably one of the worst moms. Still.
Right.
I don't.
I know. It was horrible. I hated researching this one.
Yeah. I think the next episode we'll do another haunted state.
Appreciate
a palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser.
That.
Either that or we can do a haunting.
Something spooky.
Something spooky. We are not going to be covering dolls.
No.
Because Emily originally wanted to do it, and then all of this stuff popped off with the most recent one, and then she said, never mind, I don't want to. And I went, oh, really? Really?
It's not even that I didn't want to, it's just I wanted to see what she would do in DC.
No. Did you know what came out about the son? He's like, we never gave permission for the doll to go out. We never gave permission for it to do anything.
They just decided, let's see what kind of fuckery we can do.
Yep.
What kind of fuckery is this?
Look. That doll is just in her party girl era, okay?
Well, she needs to potty her way
back into her box.
Back into her box.
I think she's back in her box.
Last I heard, they couldn't find her.
Back in her. It was returned.
Okay.
They found her. She was returned. We're not saying names. We don't need to say names.
Everybody
knows.
Everybody knows who this is. But we are not covering dolls. Those are the one things we're not going to do is haunted artifacts.
We'll leave that to Bagel Hands.
A lot of things. That is not one of them.
I think I know what we're going to talk about next time.
Oh boy.
I know what we're going to talk about next time.
And that'll be my first in my new apartment.
In your new apartment. She is moving tomorrow. I was like, you can just pack everything. You're taking my chair with you, right?
I am. It's going to go so nicely.
With your new decor.
Yes, so new decor. My new desk, so we won't have to record the intro 4 times.
This is true.
And I found some vinyl that you can actually stick on the wall. It's what I have on my desk. It doesn't leave any residue. Yep. I'm going to send you the link when we get off. You can actually put it on walls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
And I found that red that you like, the deep burgundy.
Yep.
So I'm going to send you the link when we get done.
So
but
I finished packing after we hang up today.
Yep.
Oh, my shoulder. So I move tomorrow. Oh, wait. Yeah. I don't even think I'll be on next. No, I will be on next Sunday. So next Sunday, we go up to DC for the Stray Kids concert.
Did you find somebody to go with you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So exciting.
So many things in the works.
I know, so many things. At the end of this month, so in 10 days, right now it is June 15th. So this is our second YouTube video, but June 25th, my second book is now available on streaming platforms everywhere. So if you're part of the Alphabet Mafia or just like a good dirty romance book. This one's I got a high five from Jessica via text message. She's like the throne scene, chef's kiss. So if you have a thing about that, yeah. But as always,
Do stupid shit.
don't do stupid shit. Stay feral,
Bite the hand.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Okay, goodbye. Next time on the Pandemonium Witches. Ruffy!
Legs into a black shipping trunk while placing the upper portion of her legs in a beige valise, which is like a small suitcase, and a hat box.
Not the hat box.
And a hat
Not the
box.
hat box.
Anne's body, however, was left intact and was put into a second black shipping trunk.
You know, they must have had a grudge against the other one. She got dismembered, and the other one was...
I think maybe it had something to do with one might have been taller than the other.
Yeah.
Because if
Yep.
one's taller than the other, then one would easily fit more into the box than the other.
Into the steamer truck. Because